Hey guys, it's Lockpicking Patrolman here, and I'm taking a quick break from my Extreme Lock Sport series to try to help out somebody. One of my viewers emailed me yesterday, and essentially he's had some problems with his ABIS 83 core out of his padlock, and he emailed asking for some help. So that's what we're going to try to do in this video, is help figure out a way that he can fix the problem. So basically, just a rundown of, from what I understand, is that he has a C6A 300 core like this one. The C6A is for chamber 6 access, and basically what that lets you do is take a 6-pin key like this one, and you can key this to either 6-pin or 5-pin. Makes it easier for the end user to key it themselves. Essentially, you have a little like a little metal tab that goes in there to seal that chamber off. You drop down your driver pin, or your key pin, your driver pin, bottom pin, top pin, spring, and then slide that little tab into that groove, and it locks it in place, so that it functions just like the other 5 chambers. I don't have this one keyed up, so I'm going to use this one, which is not the C6A, but it does have the 6 chamber. Basically, if you have this one and you had a pin in here, all you would do to unstick the core, or the first step I would do, is slide that little tab over, allowing you to remove the spring and the top pin. So aside from that difference, we're going to proceed with just a regular 300 core. And from what I gather, this viewer, he was trying to rekey the core and accidentally purchased quick set pins instead of Schlage pins. Put them in, they looked close, but it didn't feel right, so he was going to remove them and turn the plug. You push in this little detent back here, and this core's been beat up from other videos, but basically you turn that. That allows you access to the key pins while keeping all the driver pins, essentially making it so that you don't need a plug follower to rekey the lock. And basically what happened, from what I get from his emails, is that while turned like this, 3 of these pins dumped out, and then somehow the core rotated back like that. Now obviously these top pins and springs have shot down into chambers 3, 4, and 5, and the key won't work because these key pins are not there to raise those drivers to the shear line. So how do we get this unstuck? Well, let's see what we've got. So the first thing I'm going to do with this is remove this C-clip off the back of here. This viewer told me he didn't have any real experience with picking, but he does have some shim stock that he can use, so let's see if we can figure something out that way. Also, you've got these holes here in the bottom from the manufacturing process, so we may try to exploit that. And in fact, let's go ahead and try that. What I'm doing is holding the core upside down like that, and I'm going to which way? Probably be easier if I turn it clockwise by grabbing the actuator on the back of it. this may make it a little difficult whenever he comes back to do it later. Let's just try this to start with. Let me see. I'm trying to start with the simplest method possible first. So I'm going to take this probe that I've got, turn it clockwise, and then see if I can't see. Okay. Alright, you can see here that I can reach down through the keyway, this probe, and pin 1's not giving me anything. Maybe 2. My theory is, I know these last pins where the drivers slip down into the chambers, they need to be just pushed up and out of the way. I'm still turning it with my thumb and forefinger on my left hand. That's not fun to do. Let's see what else we have here. Alright, the next trick I'm going to try is taking this tensioner, using that to turn the plug with, and then I'll take the probe, slide it in there. You know what? Let me go ahead and get a vise. Try to get it where you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to turn it clockwise, and then take our probe, basically run straight up. Okay, I think I got driver pin in 3 pushed up. Getting this probe worked around the warding is kind of difficult. I'm just pushing those drivers up as far as I can, just to get them well above the shear line. Actually pushing pretty deep, about that far with the probe. Not putting too much tension on the plug. Oh no, this probe might be too wide for this. I'm just going in from the front here to try to, okay, I just pushed that first pin in, and I got a pretty good turn on the core, or on the plug. Okay, I think I just got 2, so pushed in. Yep, okay, cool. So that allows it to come open. You can see we've got it turned. Very careful not to turn it back. And now what we can do is take a plug follower. And if you don't have a plug follower, you can use about anything. But since we've got a known precarious situation in there, and since I don't know what this viewer has as far as plug follower material, I can't remember the exact diameter of this, but I think it's 1/2 inch maybe. I don't have my kit with my micrometers in there. Anyway, something that is the diameter of this back part. You can see how the plug follower pushes right up against there. But before we do that, we're going to shim this thing. I'll just take one of my little, these are actually my foil shims that are my poor man's shims. And they're a little bit thinner than the commercial ones that you get. So I'm going to run that in there just to keep everything up top from falling down again. And then take my follower, and you also have to push in on that little limiter pin down here so that you can slide it through. And there we go. Okay. And then we can pull that shim out of there. And then from here on out, it's just a matter of simple rekeying. Let's see what we've got in here, because I'm not sure exactly. Let me get the camera angled so you guys can see what I'm doing as well. Okay, there's 1, 2. And these may be, yeah, these are driver pins that didn't get pushed up all the way. So what we'll need to do is put those back in up here. And in order not to have another fiasco, we'll push back follower. And then when that front top pin just kind of pops in like that, not sure if you saw that on the video, it's out of focus a little bit, but when it just pops up, take some tweezers and grab it. You don't have to worry about pulling the spring out of the way. And then we can count over, we got 1, and then we've got 1 more to pull out. Just grab it like that. And then we'll slide back here to the 4th one. Grab it. Pop it in. Grab our 3rd one. And most of these ABUS 83 lock cores come with 1 standard pin and 4 spools, keyed to a 5-pin lock. 5-pin key, I should say. 5-pin lock and key. You know what I mean. Anyway, put all that in. And then we're going to take this and set it aside. And then we'll take our plug. We'll put our key in there, and then we'll load our pins and check them to make sure they're all correct. there. Yeah, I got these two switched around. That one's standing a little bit tall right there. What's our key look like? See if these last two look better switched around. So I don't have my key gauge or anything out here. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. I don't know where that pin came from. Anyway, all right. Take this. Let's see here. That one came down before I was ready for it to. Then just at an angle like that, but not to where those pins come down into that first hole. We can reinsert it, pull it out carefully, and then put our clip back on. And then we can really check it with the key to make sure that we don't lose everything. There's everything in our pinning window. The limiter pin on this thing's about worn out, so that's why it's turning like this. But anyway, I hope that helps. That's the way that I could come up with based on this viewer didn't have really any picking experience, and just sort of a way to be able to fix this problem, which is use a probe. Make sure you take the C-clip off, tension the lock, and you don't have to have a fancy top of the keyway tensioner like this. Anything you can get in this little part of the top of the keyway there to apply turning force to the plug, and then just use your probe to go down through these holes and push all of that up until you can turn the plug in the core. So anyway, hope this helps. If any of you guys out there watching see anything that I missed maybe or should have said, please leave it below, because I'm pretty sure this viewer is going to be watching this video. But anyway, guys, thanks, and we'll see y'all next time.